Hello, hi. It's Julie here. Hope y'all join me tonight as I honor my daughter, her 5-year anniversary. I wasn't even thinking that it was that, and beg to differ. It could be the first, it could be the third, and I didn't really think of it. It definitely could be the fifth, because she was opened up for, her organs were opened up to be donated on the 5th, and that's when technically her body then was deceased. On the 1st is when she overdosed. I believe her spirit went that day, and the damage was done due to fentanyl and going with over 10 minutes without oxygen, therefore dying from not being able to breathe. Dying not being able to breathe causes no oxygen to the brain. So the 3rd is when she was legally declared brain dead. So I have this picture I pulled down from my wall to show you all today, and would love to see your pictures and hear about your loved ones, to honor them here on this live, or after. If you catch this later, please comment and let me know whom you lost, the date maybe, their name, their age if you want to, just some basics, and maybe even share a picture. I guess you can share pictures on comments. So here's my daughter Heidi. This is like the best, most biggest smile I have on any. I don't have any other picture of her as a full-blown adult. It's a funny way to put it, huh? And here she is being goony with her brothers. She was a teaser, and they love to tease and joke around too. So kind of a funny picture, but she's got a beautiful smile there. So thought I would show that picture of Heidi, who passed away at 27 and was able to be a donor, giving 4 people life in her death. Her brother Jordan, who is the one with Down syndrome, that just had his birthday was yesterday. So for some reason, I don't totally mourn her or grieve or have grief bursts much on her around this time of the year. And I think part of it's because it's Jordan's birthday on the 4th. So that always moves me to think about life and how are we going to celebrate Jordan's birthday. We didn't do anything major this year for Jordan, but he's always very thankful. He's always reminding us about his birthday and looks forward to presents, but he's always grateful for whatever we do, which is wonderful. So, it didn't work to bring her on. All right, I didn't know if you tried, Jericho. I've never tried that before. But put a comment on, if you will. But this is 5 years. It's, like I said, the 1st of March is when she overdosed. So I believe her spirit went then to be with the Lord. The 3rd, 2 days later, is when they legally declared her brain dead after they did a test and there was no more blood flow. And 2 days they kept her, but I left her without her seeing her completely deceased, because her body was kept alive on the tubes. And Thursday is when her organs were taken out, and Jericho received it, right? And Jericho, it was so awesome because she not only wanted to be in contact with us, but she sent pictures before and the day of and after the surgery, and it was really neat. I got to pull those pictures out. But I have to tell you, with God's help, I am, and through doing different things that I'm going to teach at the workshop and things that we share in our support group that we have every Monday night at Calvary Chapel Worship Center, the things that I share on this channel, not this channel, on my channel, Julie, Kay Kettles, Julie Kettles. If you put in Julie Kettles on YouTube, it's still going to show up because it will. My full branding name is Julie Kay Kettles, and that's my YouTube channel name. Anyway, I talk about all the time, all these different things on my channel. Every week I upload a message video with content to help you through your grief and loss and other things in life, but definitely zooming in on grief and loss. So I share about all these things that have helped me and that I've learned from other experts like Gary Rowe and Alan Wolfelt, and I share all these on my channel. So please tune into my channel. Please subscribe and share it out. Trying to get my channel out there more. And I need help from others because I don't have the money to really hire somebody to boom, my channel, but I'm thinking about it though. But anyway, so these are all things I share, and I'm able to stand here and honestly say, authentically say, that I am whole again and I have my joy back. And I'm just full of gratefulness for all that God has brought me through. And, we'll never forget my story, but I can say it's a scar now, not an open wound. Doesn't mean I won't cry again. Doesn't mean I won't have a grace burst again. Hi, Tracy. You know what, Tracy, that the post that I saw that was in memory, I had never gone through all the comments when I said, please pray for those who are getting her organs on the 5th of 2020. And you were one of the ones who left me a beautiful comment. So that's pretty cool that you're on here. Thank you for joining me. Just in memory of my daughter, I just was holding up this picture. Heidi wasn't really photogenic and didn't take a lot of pictures herself with her boyfriend and stuff. Hi, Cheryl. But this is like the best one, and it's just a small one that I printed out for her service, and I have it up on my wall before I walk into this office. So I pulled it down so y'all can see her beautiful smile. This is one of the few pictures we have of her with a big smile. It's really a delight to see that big smile because we didn't see it a lot when she was in her adulthood. And here's with her brothers, Jeremy and Gabe, who are being, I say, goony, teasing. I don't know. Who knows what they were talking about. But it put a big smile on her face, and she smiled real big when I took a camera. This was on a New York trip. It was our last family trip with her. Not right before she died. It was years before she died, but it was the last one. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, nice to have you on here. I think you made a comment on that post when I said, please pray for those who get her organ. And we have Jerica on here. She is the only one who responded to, be in contact with us, and she got one of Heidi's kidneys. And her story is she had kidney disease, correct me if I'm wrong, for most of her life. And even though she's only 2 years older than Heidi. And I don't know if I totally told Jerica this, but when we first met Jerica at a restaurant, she had on a flannel shirt similar to what Heidi used to wear a lot. Her face is different than Heidi's, but her hair was very similar to Heidi's. Her body build is very similar to Heidi's. I was just like a double take almost, and it was amazing. And she said that the kidney was a perfect fit. So all those prayers that were on that post from 5 years ago, which I did reshare today because I believe God led me to it. I don't go to memories much. I don't get on Facebook much except for to post and stuff and comment. And all you guys were on there, and some of them I had liked already, but I missed a bunch of them, and you can imagine why. I wasn't staring at Facebook. But now I was able to go on and comment to some of y'all and part some of the comments and realize that you all were praying. A lot of you all were praying. And I was able to find out from Jerica the first time we met her that her kidney was a perfect match. It woke up right away. That's how they say it. I don't know how to put that in medical terms, but it woke up right away, and it was a fit, and everything went very well. And I hope that was the case with others. I know we got a letter saying that the other men who got her heart and her lungs, and older, like a 70-year-old, got her lungs and so forth, they were doing well. So I had prayed that God would just take all the prayers from my faith believing congregation at church and everybody who was praying for miracles, that Heidi would come back and that he would just send them on to her organs once I knew that she was not going to come back to us. And there was another thing that I put out like a fleece before God about that I asked for, and if he was going to bring her back, that she would breathe over the tube the next morning, and she didn't. So that may sound trivial to you, but it was another thing that I put before the Lord. And anyway, no more blood flow to her brain. And, there's so much heartache in that, but there's also positives in that. And part of it is that she was a donor. And I'm so glad I encourage my children to do that and to put it on their license. So does anybody on here want to share their story? Leave a comment with your story, someone you've lost that you're thinking about, or maybe multiple people, or a friendship that is estranged from you, or you can't see your grandkids. I can totally relate to that one. Things are getting better, and they are better, but it's just been a constant journey of faith and trust and surrender and patience, and focusing in on what I can do and what's in my control instead of what's out of my control. That is what I'm all about. I will be talking about it at my grief at my grief workshop this Saturday, about learning to release, like recognize what's out of your control and release it, or getting help with that if you need it. And I'm a life coach, so I work with people one-on-one. Just had 2 free consults today of 2 ladies that look like they're going to be coaching with me to work on grief, to work on other issues too. Just lost your wonderful son. Just lost my wonderful son in law 4 months ago. Is that, yeah, supposed to be law? So sorry, Cheryl. Your wonderful son-in-law 4 months ago. Wow, very recent. Man, how you doing? How you doing? My daughter is a 55-year-old widow now. Wow, that's my age almost. I'm 56. Yeah, that's tough. Man, please give her my condolences, Cheryl. This Saturday, it's a workshop, but it's going to be interactive. And if any of you guys come, you're going to be able to share things. We're going to talk about our emotions. It's going to be interactive. And I hope y'all come out. And if you can't make it this Saturday, but you want to come sometime, I'm planning on having another one March 29th at the same location in Hudson. I will be putting the address in this description. But if you look on my thread, I've got all kinds of posts about the workshop. You're better. She's having a hard time. Oh, yeah. We're all different. We all handle it differently. And, we can think we're over the thick of the grief, but don't count on it. Sometimes it's way later that it hits you, and we just can't predict how we're going to be. We just have to take it one day at a time and look at how we are now, what we're dealing with now. She's going to a grieving group in Tennessee at a church. Good. Very, very good. And, that was one thing I was just writing. I'm still writing out my outline and kind of going over everything I'm going to share on Saturday. And just thinking about another one of my points is develop a support system. Develop a support system. Now, if you already have a lot, great. You're very blessed if you do. But it doesn't mean you may not need more. One of our regular attenders for our Grace Support Group is a wonderful lady who's very strong and confident, and strong in Christ, strong person, wonderful, has a wonderful family. Her family she lost her mom, and her family definitely is a wonderful support system for her and for one another. And that's a huge blessing, because I didn't totally have that, to be honest. So, and that's partly because of what I didn't know to do, was to communicate with them what exactly I needed. And I had to learn what I needed. So that's part of what I share. But, she still came and benefited from our support group. So the different things kind of that I put down are individuals that we may need, friends or family members. They're individuals in our lives, maybe just somebody that we just share our grief with, that maybe doesn't become a best friend, but is there for us if we need to talk about it. It can be a professional, which could be a life coach or a counselor or a therapist or a psychiatrist, anything of that sort. A support group is another type. And if I'm missing something, let me know. But those are some of the different types of support system elements that can be very, very beneficial. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. I hope and pray that I'm a blessing. That's part of what's helped me through this, is that I found a new purpose to help people. And I always wanted to help bring healing to people's hearts. And that's part of what this is about, right? So Jesus is the healer of the broken heart. And so when we walk in the Spirit and we are instruments of Him, we can bring healing. And I've seen some beautiful stories happen through coaching and through the support group. And I hope in these grief workshops, because I had a sense that one day I would start doing grief workshops. And my husband even said that somewhere like towards the end of the year last year. And he said, "Why aren't you did workshops? You're great at them. You can do them. Why don't you do them?" And I said, "Well, God hasn't told me that yet." Well, bingo! As I prayed about the new year and I sensed there was changes coming, the Lord showed me, yeah, He is. The Lord showed me that it was time to start doing workshops. So we are going to do it. That's our plan, to do it online this time, but we will, every time I do a workshop, of course, I will try to make it better and better. And that's another thing good about just doing multiple ones. You get better at anything, hopefully, that you do, and you learn better ways to do it. So if you come or you want to be online for this workshop because you can't come, but you want to be online, let me know. We are planning to, we have to make sure that there's internet. If there's not, I probably will still do it on my phone, or I might just do a live so you all can join the live at 11 a.m. or watch it later. It's going to be from 11 to 1. So I do want to use my phone either for a live or Zoom recording so that I can reflect on that, learn from it. And there's, like, I have a friend that's Margot, definitely can't come, wants to attend. Dr. Eddie Williams that I've been working with through PHSC, he says he's going to get on and attend. So we won't be able to bring anybody on with audio to interact, but we are going to try to, we're going to try to at least show the workshop, okay, so y'all can at least see that and hopefully see the whiteboard, because we're going to be writing things on the whiteboard and getting feedback from those who are attending. Hi, Don. We're talking about the workshop I'm having on Saturday, just so you know. And I'm going to have another one March 29th. So what I want to have happen on this live right now for the little bit of time I'm on here is for you all to share losses. We just had Cheryl share a couple of losses recent. And I showed a picture of my daughter, Heidi, one of my favorite pictures of her now, the biggest smile that I have on a picture of her as an adult, having fun with her brothers on our New York trip that we had, which was our last family trip ever, all of us together. And look forward to seeing her in heaven someday. But anyway, we're here sharing, basically honoring, remembering and honoring our loved ones, because that's one very important way that we think of is doing it for that person, and we are, even though they're gone from this world, but really most of all it's for us, for those of us that miss them and have heartache over them and love them, and it's really for us. But honoring, remembering and honoring a loved one, many different ways we can do that, right? And even doing it on the live here and sharing it with each other, that's one way. If you come to the workshop, you're going to have that opportunity to share briefly about your loved one that you lost. And it's going to be very interactive and very practical and interactive. And it's based off of my 10 tips on my bookmark. So if you come, I'm going to be giving out a bookmark to everyone. And it's going to be great, I think. Helpful, hopefully. And if nothing else, we need to normalize the expression of grief. I think we are moving that way in a lot of ways in our country and happen, but I think it needs to happen even bigger, right? Y'all agree? We need to normalize and make it acceptable to share grief and not be like feeling like we need to shut down, because that's not, grief has got to come out. So we need to support one another, not be judgmental, not tell each other to get over it. Never tell somebody to get over it, or why are you still struggling with your grief. Never tell somebody that. Learn what to say, what not to say. How do we respond to other people? I'm not really addressing that specifically in this workshop, but if y'all want me to do a video on that or a live about that, let me know. I think that might be a good live, to talk about how do we handle other people grieving. If you haven't been through a life-changing loss yourself, it's harder to know what to say or not to say and what to do or not to do if you care about the person. So, but once you've had that, it's a little easier, but we still can talk about that. What do we say and what do we not say? Another thing, if you already have had a life-changing loss, don't jump right over to your own loss. Listen and let them talk. And then if they pause and stop, you might say, I can somewhat relate, but don't never say, I totally understand. I totally get it, because none of us totally gets each other's loss. None of us totally understands each other. I believe only God completely understands us, because he made us. Roll out. But anyway, doing a grief workshop, and there'll be multiple ones throughout the year. So like I asked people, email me, Ministries. It is actually just the letter K on that for that email, because that's what I did years ago. juliekministries@gmail.com. Again, that'll be on this, and it's also on other posts. Just shoot me an email and say, if I don't know you, or it's on your email, I'm so-and-so. I'm interested in joining one of your workshops later in the year. Can't make it this week. Or I do want to make it on Saturday, but I want to do it online. Let me know that. Or if you have any questions about the workshop, let me know. It's 2 hours, but it's going to go quick, and it's going to be very interactive and very practical. We're going to do stuff on the whiteboard, and it could be potentially life-changing for you if you have never learned some of the concepts I'm going to be sharing. So it can definitely help you with overwhelm, depression, anxiety, feeling more in control and making your life more manageable. Just some of the concepts, if you apply those concepts, can really bring down some of the negative stuff that's involved with your grief and help you to know how to move forward. And God gave me the phrase, move through your mourning. MOURNING. Move through your mourning. He wants to use me to help people get unstuck. We all get stuck at times. Getting stuck for a short period is not abnormal. It's not bad, but we don't want to be stuck forever in any place in our life. So getting people unstuck and getting them moving. No speed, no certain speed for how you move through loss and grief. Not about a competition, not about comparison. Comparison is bad. That's one of the things on my bookmark is don't compare yourself. Don't list other people who compare. Oh, well, so-and-so went through, well, didn't your sister go through the same loss and she's doing great? Don't do that. We all compare, but we shouldn't. It's not good in life at all, right? It's not good at all. Not healthy. It either leads you to think too good of yourself or too low of yourself. That's what I think. It leads me either go like, oh, look how I'm doing. You're either thinking too good of yourself or too low of yourself. So it's not productive. Compare yourself with yourself if you're going to. And just deal with the facts of where you're at in your loss and get help. And don't be afraid to get help. We all need it. We all need it. We all need one another. God made us to be in community. And if you look at all the cultures around the world, they do grief in community way better than Americans do. We're too solo. And then we also, I actually went to a workshop by Dr. Alan Wolfelt, who wrote this book. And I'm talking more about him on my message videos on my YouTube channel. But he was talking about how grief in our culture is a grief. I have to look at my notes, but just how it's like, shut down. It's not encouraged to open up overall. Some places are at support groups and certain places do it, yes, but we need to get that in our society and realize we need one another. We were not made to grieve alone, and that's part of how we heal. So I mentioned a little bit ago one member that was coming regularly to our group. She has a wonderful family that all support one another through the loss of their mother, but she still benefited from coming to our group. She started to shut down and go through more negative emotions, and just kind of was starting to shut down, and some friends encouraged her to come to our support group, and she did, and she was blessed to do so. And she even made a video. I have the video on my channel. So it's we all need more support, whether it's a group, an individual, professional, more friends that understand us. That's so important. People that get it. They're not people that claim to know exactly what you're going through, but just that they can relate and get it. So somebody comes to me and they've lost a child and they hear, I've lost my daughter. What immediately happens? Immediately they feel more comfortable, they feel more understood, and so. Somebody who has estrangement from their grandchildren by whatever reasons. For me, it was that they got adopted out of the family. So that could have been a total cutoff, and it was supposed to be at the beginning, and it has shifted. So we are in their lives, not the way I'm hoping to, more so in the future, but I'm very thankful. But it's been a constant journey, up and down journey, that whole thing. So I can get it even with people who have estrangement for whatever other reason. And they just are so heartbroken they want to be with their grandkids and they can't. I can understand that. So we need one another and we need to be around people who understand us. And one friend may be somebody who you thought was going to be very helpful and they aren't at all. And we just have to accept that they're just not able to be that support that we need and be there when we need them or how we need them to. They don't get it. They are too afraid. Some people are afraid. They're afraid it'll happen to them, or they just don't know how to handle it. So they just pull away. That's when we can find other, that maybe that relationship shuts down forever or just for a time, or we just don't get with them for a time, but God brings in somebody else. And if you open yourself to get out there and do that and be in a community and not just isolate yourself, you can give yourself a potential of finding other friends that God, grief brings new people together. It brings people together, and it also divides. So the division is sad and hard, and that can be another loss for you that you have to work through. Realize there are still people out there that you can befriend and be in a relationship with, mentoring or professional or whatever. They can be there for you even though you've lost others. It happened with me. Not complete shutdown, but yes, it definitely happened within my family. And yet I found a beautiful counselor that helped me with the last stages of things in this last year, who was very encouraging and very supportive. I've made new friends through leading a support group. I've helped, the support group has brought others together in friendship, beautiful friendships. And it's hard. It's hard. It's just hard. But there's beauty from ashes, and it can come out of it. And I'm just so want to encourage you all that you can come out on the other side of it and keep going through it and live again and have joy again and laugh, and it's okay. And but it's all a process, a long process. So anybody else want to share another loss? Any questions? You all feel free to reach out to me on Messenger, and the email will be in there, juliekministries@gmail.com. And I'm so glad you all joined me tonight. Again, the workshop is this Saturday, and then there'll be another one March 29th. If you want to put that down and let me know you're interested in that, I'll remind you when we get closer. And if you have a church or organization that wants to have me come in and do a workshop, I am completely open to that. So I'm willing to travel some for that as well. And let's get this rolling. Let's get people help and support, right? And help them to know that they're not alone and they're not the only one going through what they're going through. They're not alone, and they're not the only one going through what they're going through, but they are being accepted for their own unique self and their own unique losses, and not being judged for that as well. So there's many things that we can share with one another. All right. Hope you all check out my channel, Julie Kay Kettles. I'll put the link in this description as well. And yeah, God bless you guys. I'm signing off for now. Got to get back to getting ready for the workshop. Bye-bye.